In every corner of the world, there's a story waiting to be told. Welcome back, dear viewers, to another journey through mystery and emotion. Before we begin, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It helps the story continue. Now, let's begin. The story begins in the dim light of a little girl's bedroom. She lies awake, her eyes fixed on the dark corner of the room. A sound breaks the silence, soft at first, then growing closer. From her closet, an evil presence slowly emerges. It tells her in a chilling voice that it's her father. Fear consumes her, and before she can scream, we hear a sharp crunch. A spray of blood stains a nearby photograph. Not far away, Sadie Harper is getting ready for her first day back to school after the death of her mother, Kara, who died in a car accident. She lives with her younger sister, Sawyer, and their father, Will, a therapist, struggling with his own grief. Sadie puts on an old dress that once belonged to her mother. At school, she meets her friend Bethany, but things quickly turn sour when Natalie, the cruel girl of the group, makes an insensitive remark. Sadie snaps, calls her a bitch. Natalie responds by shoving her, spilling a drink all over her mother's dress. Sadie, humiliated, runs home in tears. Meanwhile, Will receives a strange visitor, a disturbed man named Lester Billings. He insists on talking to Will, begging for someone to listen. At first hesitant, Will finally agrees. Lester tells a terrifying story. His children were haunted by something unseen. He never believed them until it was too late. As this conversation unfolds, Sadie comes home, unaware of the man in her house. She hears a noise, follows it, and finds her mother's old art studio destroyed. There, hanging from the door, is Lester's lifeless body. Moments later, Sawyer returns, just in time to see the paramedics wheel him out. The horror only deepens the family's pain. That night, Sawyer tries to sleep. The closet door slams open by itself. When she looks under the bed, a creature growls at her from the darkness. She screams, falling off the bed and cutting her lip. Days later, the Harpers visit another therapist, Dr. Weller, to talk about their grief. During the session, Sawyer mentions what she saw. Dr. Weller decides to test her fear. A red light flashes on and off in the dark room, and in one of those flashes, Sawyer sees the monster again. She screams, terrified, and wets herself in fear. That night, Sadie listens to the recorded session between her father and Lester. Meanwhile, Sawyer wanders through the hallway with her nightlight. Sadie finds a page in the trash. When she shades over it with her pencil, she reveals a horrifying drawing of the same creature haunting her sister. Down the hall, Sawyer hears a voice, familiar, soft, calling her name. She rolls her nightlight into the darkness and hears it being crushed. At school, Sadie convinces Bethany to drive her to the Billings' old home. Inside, the house is filthy and filled with candles. Lester's widow, Rita, still lives there, broken, paranoid. Sadie tries to ask her about what her husband and their children saw. Rita calls it the Boogeyman, a creature that thrives in the dark, that mimics the voices of loved ones. Suddenly, Rita sees something move in the shadows and fires her rifle. Sadie runs, terrified, back to the car. Later that night, Sadie returns home, frustrated by Sawyer's fear. She slams her sister's door, but moments later hears knocking from inside. When she opens it, something invisible forces its way down her throat. She wakes up in her bed, gasping, unsure if it was real or just a nightmare. But the terror lingers. Sadie argues with her father when he tries to throw away her mother's belongings. She takes the box downstairs and finds her mom's old lighter and a home video of them together when she was just a baby. Hoping to distract herself, Sadie invites Bethany, Natalie, and a few others over. They hang out, bored, until Sadie finds some of her mother's weed. They smoke, but Sadie starts coughing violently. Natalie mocks her, locks her inside a closet. In the darkness, the boogeyman reveals itself. Sadie screams, fighting to escape. When she's freed, she slaps Natalie and shoves Bethany, believing it was all a cruel prank. The girls leave, and silence fills the house. Sawyer sits alone watching TV when suddenly the screen flickers. A shadow looms behind her, and the boogeyman throws her across the room. At the hospital, Sadie vows to end this once and for all. Rita contacts her again, claiming she found a way to kill the monster. Sadie goes to her house, but it's a trap. Rita uses Sawyer as bait, forcing the boogeyman to appear. The creature walks into one of her traps. Shotguns blast into its face. But it doesn't die. It tears Rita apart and turns its attention to Sadie. Sadie barely escapes and rushes back home, but the creature follows. She finds Sawyer, and together they set up Christmas lights in the basement, hoping to expose the monster. The lights flicker, then go dark. The boogeyman attacks. The sisters fight back, using hairspray and their mother's lighter to burn it. When the flames start to fade, Sawyer pours lighter fluid, and Sadie throws the lighter one last time. The boogeyman ignites, screaming as fire engulfs the basement. The house burns, and the creature turns to ash. Weeks later, the family visits Dr. Weller again, trying to move on. As they prepare to leave, Sadie hears the doctor's voice calling her from the office. But when she looks inside, no one's there. The closet door creaks open slowly. Sadie stares, steps closer, then, with a trembling hand, she shuts the door. And so, another story comes to an end. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one, because every story deserves to be heard.